speak about the stadium.
The ballpark,
Yes.
well, there's been quite a lot of new development in the area. One is it seems many people believe that over time we've continued to lose the little bit of land that we have. And there were many people who were upset and offended that that space that now houses One Oak Ballpark once belonged to the Greenwood District, was once part of Black Wall Street, and it was sold so that they could build the ballpark there. Many people are still upset about that. The Greenwood Cultural Center, although we've been here for nearly 20 years, struggled to stay afloat. For years, we received state funding to help operate our programs for children in North Tulsa at-risk youth. And a couple of years ago, we went to the state capitol, my executive director and myself, as we have before, as most nonprofits do. You have to go and state what you do and why you're important and what you need the money for and show your results. And we were there to do that. And a white senator that we met with leaned back in his chair and told us that the woman that had met with him prior to us had offered to get down on her hands and knees and beg for her money. They later said from another individual that maybe if you take Greenwood out of your name, you know, you may get some funding if you take Greenwood out of your name. We're not taking Greenwood out of the name. So basically they ended the conversation by saying, that's just not important. It's just not important. So we lost 100% of our funding. So did several other agencies, like the one that maintained the house next door, lost 100% of their funding. They could no longer continue. We all took a 20% salary cut. We gave up our insurance, all of our benefits. Then I volunteered to go part-time to work 18 hours a week just to help keep the doors open. And we're still in a transition where we're struggling to keep our doors open and to move forward, often feeling that we don't have the support of Tulsa as a whole, but sometimes not even the support of our community. So we're in a constant struggle, and we know it's not just the building, it's not just the area, it has a lot to do with the history, a lot to do about who tells the story. Remember, we don't write the history books, and in many of the history books that you look at today, even the new books, they don't talk about the race riot of Black Wall Street. That 1 or 2 paragraphs that they have listed in there, that's not talking about the race riot of Black Wall Street when we lost thousands of people. We can spend weeks talking about slavery and the civil rights era and the Trail of Tears and not spend any time talking about Tulsa race riot of Black Wall Street is simply not right. But we continue to tell the story, and we tell it the way that it happened. We tell it the way that our survivors have told it to us. And it's important for us to know the truth. It's not about being angry or mad or bitter or angry with anyone, although I don't know how you could not feel that initially when you first hear the story. But it's about where we go from here and what can we learn from where we've been. A lot of our young people, when they come in, don't want to hear about it. They don't think this could ever happen again. But I'm here to tell you this could happen again. Several years ago, maybe 2 years ago now, we just featured a documentary where there were 2 white gentlemen driving through the streets of North Tulsa killing blacks. I think they had shot 5 people, killed 2, injured 3. And our community became immediately alarmed and scared and fearful because we didn't know who was doing it or why or when, and they didn't have any rationale as to who they were targeting. But we also saw people getting ready to rally to defend their community. And the FBI was called in immediately. The police department and the mayor immediately joined with ministers in our community to help calm the community, not just the black community, but help calm Tulsa together. But had those steps not been taken and that incident not been addressed as quickly as it was, who knows how this would have turned out. It's naive for us to think that we've come so far that this could never happen again, because this could very well happen again. This happened in one day. They didn't have internet, cell phones. This happened in a single day. Thousands of people lost their lives.
Yes.
More than 1,000 homes burned to the ground. More than 300 black-owned businesses destroyed. So this is about knowing where we come from and knowing where we can go. It's about protecting our community and ourselves and protecting our history. I'm going to give you guys some time to look at the panels and look at some of the photographs of the victims and of the businesses. And I'll be here if you have any questions while you're here. And then we'll go over and see some of the other exhibits in the hallway. And I also want to note that we have a quite impressive collection of African art. One of our survivors 20 years ago gave us our first few pieces of African art that he had brought back with him in his travels around the world. And since then, we've added on to those pieces. But please take some time to look at the photographs and read some of the material. This article is excellent because it gives you, it was in the Tulsa Tribune, it was the editorial. It shows you, it gives you an idea of how they felt, what they said, what they talked about, and how they viewed African Americans at the time, and what African Americans were facing in Tulsa, Oklahoma at that time.
And feel free to take pictures. We're going to maybe be here about maybe 10 minutes, and then we'll move on to the next because it is a guided tour. But we want you to actually experience this, and if you don't get to look at everything initially, you'll have time to come back again. But the one thing we also wanted to make very plain is that ballpark is on sacred burial ground. That was a mass grave. So all of the bones, or a large portion of the bones of our ancestors, rest right over there. And we will go over there. And when you go there, and you'll have time to just walk through. And please take the time to really absorb the energy and feel it and know, so we can leave away from here and be proactive. This is my sister here. We've been working together for a couple of years now. I called her at the last minute because they don't open on Sundays. And because she is so passionate and believes in this, I know how important it is that as many of our children and as many of us that get a chance to hear the story, experience it in your own energy, in your own way, you can go away from here and do something. We don't want you to just leave away from here feeling good or feeling bad. We want you to leave away from here empowered with the energy of our ancestors and know that we have a job that we must do, and we must support this effort as well as the efforts that we are exhibiting across the country to put Black Wall Street districts in every city, in every state, so that the spirit of Black Wall Street will live on, because that is integral to our survival as a people, to our children. A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children's children, to the 10th generation. We don't know how long this thing is going to go on, but we do have an obligation. We are standing on the shoulders of the blood that was shed. And you are here and you can experience it. Take it in. Please take it in. We're going to give you a couple of minutes and we will call you all to the next station.
Thank you.